You're a builder. It's what you do. You love to create, to see real tangible results, and to take charge. But you're building more than just projects, right? You're building a career. So today, we're going to get into the blueprint for making that career a long, successful, and most importantly, safe one. So let's talk about you for a second. Based on some pretty solid career data, if you're drawn to this kind of work, there's a really good chance you identify with these two big traits: realistic and enterprising. You're a doer and a leader. You're someone who likes to get your hands dirty, but also knows how to organize and direct. Does this sound about right? I mean, this is the very heart of that realistic personality type. It's all about being practical, mechanical, industrious. You're not just thinking about it, you're the one out there actually building it. And that, right there, brings us to the most important question of all. All that drive, all that ambition, it doesn't mean a thing if you can't sustain it. So how do you protect your number one asset, you, to make sure you have a long and prosperous career? Okay, so the first step is just to understand the environment. Every single job site is its own dynamic world. It's filled with incredible potential, but also, let's be honest, inherent risks. Knowing what you're up against is half the battle. OSHA actually breaks these risks down into 6 main categories. You've got your immediate safety hazards, like an unguarded ledge. Then there are chemical and biological hazards, physical ones like crazy heat or deafening noise, ergonomic hazards, from repetitive strain, and even work organization hazards, things like excessive overtime that can lead to burnout and stress. But here's the thing, just seeing the hazards isn't enough. The real power comes from knowing you can actually control them. It's the difference between reacting to a falling wrench and making sure that wrench was secured in the first place. It's about shifting from a reactive mindset to a proactive one. And the system for doing exactly that is called the hierarchy of controls. Just think of it like a safety playbook. It's an ordered list of the absolute best ways to deal with any hazard you might find, starting with the most effective and working your way down. And here are the 5 levels. The best option always is elimination. Just get rid of the hazard completely. If you can't do that, you try substitution. Then you move to engineering controls, like putting guards on machines. After that comes administrative controls, which is about changing work procedures. And the very last line of defense, well, that's your personal protective equipment, or PPE. All right, now let's zero in on what OSHA calls the Focus 4. These are the 4 most common causes of fatalities in construction. We're going to face down some of the most common and immediate dangers you'll actually encounter on site. We're going to focus on 2 that are responsible for a huge number of really serious incidents: being struck by something and being caught in or between objects. And trust me, understanding the difference is absolutely critical. So here's the key difference. A struck by injury is when an object hits you. Think of a falling tool or a swinging crane load. A caught in or between injury is when you get squeezed between 2 objects, like a piece of equipment and a wall or in a trench collapse. One is about impact, the other is about compression. Big difference. So how do you avoid being struck? Well, it all comes down to awareness and control. Know the swing radius of every piece of equipment and just stay out of it. Never, ever walk under a suspended load. Use taglines to guide it from a safe distance. And hey, if you're working up high, secure your tools. It's simple stuff, but it's life-saving stuff. Now, for caught in hazards, we have to talk about trenches. A cave-in can happen in a split second. The rules here are totally non-negotiable. A designated, competent person must inspect them every single day. If a trench is between 5 and 20 feet deep, a protective system like shoring or a trench box is required, period. And there has to be a way out, a ladder or a ramp, every 25 feet. Okay, we've looked at the hazards. Now let's talk about your personal defense system. It starts with the gear you wear, sure, but it absolutely does not end there. This is your toolkit for both success and survival. Let's start at the top, literally. Not all hard hats are the same. A Class G is for general use, and it's got some low voltage protection. A Class E, that's what you need for higher voltage work. And a Class C, well, C stands for conductive. That means it offers 0 electrical protection. You've got to know what's on your head. Beyond the hard hat, your basic toolkit should include safety glasses that meet the proper ANSI standards, gloves that are right for the task, and boots that protect you from impact and punctures. And please don't forget hearing protection. Any noise over 85 decibels can cause permanent damage. But here's what's really important. All this physical gear, as crucial as it is just your last line of defense. Your helmet can protect your head, but your mindset? Your mindset protects your entire life. It is your first and your best piece of equipment. A huge part of this mindset is something psychologists call self-efficacy. It's not just about being confident, it's the deep down belief that your actions truly matter. On a job site, it's the difference between thinking, accidents happen, and believing I can prevent accidents from happening. And this idea just brilliantly illustrates the difference between an internal and an external locus of control. Ask yourself, do you believe things happen to me, or do you believe I make things happen? People with a strong internal locus of control, they take ownership. They don't wait for a safety issue to become an accident. They act first. So let's bring it all together now. How do you take that powerful mindset and turn it into a real master plan for your career? Well, it starts by knowing that your personal commitment to safety is supported by some pretty serious authority. That's right. Your internal locus of control isn't just some nice psychological concept. It is actually backed by the law. OSHA gives you specific, powerful rights that literally empower you to take control of your own safety and the safety of everyone around you. And these are some of your most important ones. You have the right to speak up about hazards without fear of being punished for it, the right to get training in a language that you actually understand, the right to be provided with the proper PPE, and the right to call OSHA and request an inspection if you believe there's a serious hazard. And this is where rights meet responsibility. This quote, it's from an OSHA study guide, and it really says it all. You are empowered by the law, absolutely, but you are ultimately responsible for listening to your body, trusting your instincts, and looking out for yourself. In the end, your career is a structure that you are designing and building every single day, and the quality of its foundation is going to determine how long it stands. So the real question is, what's the first step you're going to take to make safety a permanent, non-negotiable part of your blueprint?